Do you think the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat? If they do, why would they? And to you, what is the number one impediment holding them back from potentially making history here?
The number one impediment is the American Football Conference right now is historically top heavy. I mean, you know, uh, you probably are as keenly aware of this as anybody, but the discussion around Josh Allen has become just demented. Um, Josh Allen is being judged on losing playoff games to the Chiefs. And one of them was maybe the greatest playoff game anybody's ever seen, which he played heroically in. And the other one, just this past season, was another terrific Allen performance that could have been another great overtime game if your kicker doesn't miss a 42-yarder in the fourth quarter. Um, just as the perception of Mahomes, his first MVP year, he gets shut out by Bill Belichick's Patriots in the 2018 AFC Championship game, and then scores 31 points in the second half and plays heroically, but D Ford jumps off sides. And so now Brady has 7 rings. Mahomes has only 3. If Brady had had 6 and Mahomes has 4 now, think of how the conversation changes. So again, fine margins. I I would not say, oh, the Chiefs will three-peat. I certainly understand Tony Dungy's policy of in the NFL, you never bet on the champions to repeat. 18 of the last 19 years, that's been a sound strategy. I certainly think the Chiefs can repeat. If you ask me what the most important thing is, I would say the most important thing is Steve Spagnuolo's defense continues to be a top 10 defense. Um, what Mahomes and the Chiefs had last year, they'd never had before, which was a defense that could win you games. They'd had a bend but don't break defense. They'd had a decent defense. They'd had an opportunistic defense. But that was still a defense that allowed 35 points to the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57. And they won because, for one thing, the defense created a touchdown with that Nick Bolton fumble return for a touchdown. And the other thing is Mahomes could put the 3 spot up when they needed. Um, but as competitive as the AFC is, the Chiefs need not just to continue having a top 10 offense, but they need to have a defense that can go a ways toward, if not shutting down, then disrupting the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows and the CJ Strouds of the conference. It's going to be amazing to watch, and whichever way it turns out, it is just so delicious to take a look at all of these matchups that we're going to see. And I think I mentioned in the story, uh, Aaron Schatz in the FTN Football Almanac says 8 of the best 12 teams in pro football are in the AFC. By definition, one of those 8 teams is not even going to make the playoffs. So it is brutal.
Super Bowl winning coach, but you hear him too. There's just so many stories about Patrick. This is who he's always been. He's always just found a way when the pressure's the highest and he's got to be at his best. And I think like next gen, they measured his heart rate in the 13 seconds game. And like when he took the field for those 13 seconds, I mean, he was as calm as can be. His
Mhm.
heart rate's not spiking up and down. He's not nervous. And his friends say that's just who Patrick Mahomes has been his entire life. I mean, Coleman Patterson, we've talked to him for some stories here to go along, and I had to pull it up because I had to kind of refresh my memory. But after they lost that Super Bowl to the Bucks, so
Mhm.
he's running around for 497 yards before sacks and
Right.
incompletions, just running for his damn life. Their
Mhm.
offensive line needs work, obviously. So he's at Augusta with his, playing. It is just 2 weeks after the 2021 Masters, and you can
Mhm.
never really use your phone out there. There's a lot of rules, but his phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing, and his caddy thought he should know, like, hey, there could be something wrong here, and it was Andy Reid, Brett Veach letting him know that we're trading for Orlando Brown. We're getting you a left tackle. And Patterson, his buddy, was with him. He said, quote, you could tell something in his demeanor changed because he was like, I got my blind side protected. I'm good. And he was on the 16th hole. he just hit a shot into the bunker, and he looked at him this after he finds out he's got his left tackle, looks at his buddy and said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna par this." And they're, "Oh, no way, no chance in hell." And he
Up and
just chips
down.
it out of the bunker, 6 feet from the hole, drills it. I mean, this is who he's always been, whether he's, throwing hatchets at a bachelor party in Nashville, playing baseball, obviously. He was a hell of a basketball
Right.
player.
Yeah.
That's Michael Jordan, right? He just takes it from here to
Outlets
here.
in this offseason. The really remarkable thing is Mahomes continues to work on his game and continues to get better. So it is a jungle out there, and they've got a lot of things going against them. But if they get to the playoffs, especially if they get to the playoffs and can play games in Arrowhead, they are going to be a really tough out, and it's going to be a fascinating drama to watch over the course of the season.